on a game-winning 5-yard touchdown run by their rookie quarterback, Haynes King. Played at Georgia Tech. They signed him as an undrafted free agent and paid off last night. Big excitement in the Hall of Fame game to get the NFL Hall of Fame weekend underway, which, by the way, tomorrow Drew Brees will be officially inducted into the Hall of Fame. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Stephen. How are you today? Are you excited that football is on its way back?
Oh, this is the first I'm hearing of it. You know, if you win preseason games, it means you're going to lose in the regular season.
Yeah, maybe.
So you want to lose, especially that first game. Carolina is screwed.
We'll see. They were playing the Cardinals, who I think are going to have a terrible year, but I think Carolina is going to be pretty competitive, actually, in the NFC South, of which the Saints are in that division. I think it's going to be a pretty competitive race between the Saints, the Panthers, and also Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Falcons. I don't know. We'll see. But
I always remember in 2007, the Lions went 4-0 in preseason, and the Patriots went 0-4 in preseason.
Yeah, sometimes that does happen.
Out.
Yes,
that turned out.
Hey, have you heard about this guy? His name is Lewis Kalb, ironically spelled K-A-L-B. We're familiar with those letters. So the Philadelphia Phillies, every year they auction off an opportunity for a fan to get to spend one inning in the broadcast booth with their radio play-by-play announcers. Normally it ends up being more or less an interview. But, yeah, Lewis Kalb, he was this year's winner. He won the auction, I think, for $22,000, which is incredible because he's a 73-year-old substitute teacher. And this was him calling the Phillies game the other night. Take a listen.
From Medford Lakes, New Jersey, he is our Phillies fantastic auction winner. He outbid the competition to spend an inning and do some play-by-play in the booth. And Lewis, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Scott. It's a thrill to be here. It's a lifelong dream to be in the Phillies broadcast booth. So here we go. Painter with the first pitch to Ortiz. It's in there for strike one call. Phils with 2 in the bottom of the second to take the lead. As we start the top of the third now, Painter delivers. It's bounced foul towards the Phillies dugout.
Just fire that other guy.
And they count 1-1.
That's what people are saying. They're like, I couldn't.
Phillies winning the first 2 games of this series.
Oh, my God.
1 more to go tomorrow night, and then a 3-game set with the Blue Jays over the weekend. Now Painter delivers.
He has the whole cadence down, the terminology down, the rhythm down.
Feels like old school baseball.
Yeah. So he's not exactly a novice in terms of broadcasting. I was reading his life story, and apparently that was always his dream, was to work in broadcasting in some way. But his family had moved. He actually went to Hillsdale College in Michigan and was a disc jockey for their radio station. You're familiar with Hillsdale.
Yeah.
So, but he had to kind of come up with a more pragmatic career. So he took a job in sales and moved to Los Angeles in the 1970s, working for Russell Stover Candies. But he still had that dream of being on the radio or in broadcasting. So when he got to his late 20s, he moved to Penn State or State College in Pennsylvania to enroll at Penn State University, worked as an overnight disc jockey, and transitioned, then even did a little freelance work for some radio stations, but nothing really panned out. He actually tried out as the arena announcer for the Philadelphia 76ers, but didn't get it. So then his life kind of gravitated more into the teaching realm. But after he didn't get that job as the 76ers announcer, he started doing like high school games and doing the announcing the same way with kind of all the flair, and people just ate it up. So he's been doing that for years and years and years. And when he had a chance to win that auction, he went for it and had his, I guess you would call it 10 minutes of fame. He did about 6 minutes of the broadcast, but everyone was like, oh my goodness, he's really good. So who knows what it could lead to, even maybe just filling in once in a while.
Who's the Saints broadcaster, the play-by-play?
I'm trying to think who that is right now.
The one after Jim, what's his
name?
It was
for a while they were using a former player. Was it Zach Street?
It just wasn't that. Oh, I shouldn't say.
Yeah, no, I think it was the guy that was he was the former former offensive lineman, but now it's Mike Haas who does it.
Oh, okay.
He's actually pretty good.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to hear some terrible play-by-play, if you can find some old Alexandria Aces broadcast from the year 2012, it was heard that guy kind of sucked.
Yeah.
That was always my dream, like in college.
Oh, I know. Me too.
I only
Me
got
too.
into broadcast media
Yeah.
so that I could be a sports play-by-play announcer for the radio specifically. And then someone made me do news packages that I didn't want to do, and I had to do it. Then I got hired to do it, and now I'm stuck doing it the rest of my life.
Yep. You're missing out on all the fun. Yeah, if I could wave a magic wand and completely redo my career and end up doing any one thing, it would be being a play-by-play announcer for a Major League Baseball team.
No, you want to be Bob Uecker.
I don't know if I want to be him, but I definitely I wouldn't mind it being his sidekick.
His sidekick?
Yeah, because you always have two men in the booth.
Oh, too late for that.
Too late for that,
Yeah,
but it would have been great.
would have been fun.
Yeah.
Would you have liked to have been a color guy or a play-by-play guy?
Oh, play-by-play. And the way usually radio broadcasts work is you'll have one guy that does maybe the first and second inning, the next guy does the third and fourth inning, then the next guy does the fifth and sixth, and the next guy does the seventh, and then eighth and ninth, so on and so forth. At least that's the way the Brewers have always done it.
I like the play-by-play that he did, but I like to
Yeah.
see some of his ad-libbing and filling of the time.
Oh,
because
yeah.
sometimes, baseball
Yeah.
can be a little lengthy.
Yeah, that was some of his best broadcasts would be when there was a blowout, and the game was kind of almost secondary at that point, and he could just kind of dive into just talking about great stories
See, I was getting choked up thinking about
from when he was a player. Yeah, a little bit. A
Yeah.
little bit.
it.
It was special.
He was good.
And, so many teams have that. Right now, the San Francisco Giants, for example, they've had their broadcast team together for about 30 years of Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow, both former players. Krukow was a pitcher, and Kuiper played second base in MLB from Racine, Wisconsin, by the way. Krukow announced yesterday that he's retiring at the end of the year. So,
Well, there we go.
yeah.
And one thing that kind of annoys me about broadcasts, play-by-play and television and everything, we've all been victim to it, is we all just copy each other's cadence. This
Yeah.
shows how much we're sheep.
Yeah,
if you
Lewis
listen to a
Callum.
news reporter,
Right,
they'll
right,
do that.
right.
It's so annoying.
That's right. I am here in my house. I'm about to make breakfast. I'm going to have some sausage, scrambled eggs, and pancakes.
Someone was making fun of a British news anchor woman.
Yeah,
They all sound exactly the same,
that's true. They do.
even more than America.
Yeah. But even this guy, that got to do the Phillies game, right away he had the cadence down. Thank you very much for having me on the broadcast.
Thank you for being in the worst city in America, Philadelphia.
Oh, you hate Philadelphia. That's right. Here's the pitch. That's down low for a ball. It's 1-0.
That's just a bit outside. Who should they get? They should get Dave Ramsey to do play-by-play. That's got to be the worst freaking pitch I've ever seen in my life. No, he could have saved a lot of money if he wouldn't have taken that deal.
Can't believe they gave him a 10-year contract.
That's beans and rice right there for you.
Dave, what do you think of the Dodgers deferring over $1 billion in salaries?
That's so freaking stupid. They can just blow their money however they want. They're like I'm not going to say it. I shouldn't say it. I'm born again. I'm born again. Better than I deserve.
That could be a good comedy routine. Just pick random people, and if they were doing play-by-play, what it would sound like.
That would be good. Yeah. What's his name? John Voight.
Yeah.
And that pitch is outside. Just need a little more cowbell.
Clint Eastwood. Go ahead. Make that pitch.
Let's just do this for 2 hours.
Really. It would be fun.
The DA is calling in at 7:30. He's like, "Why am I calling in?"
That's right. Election qualifying continues today. It is the last day. We'll have the official list coming up, after 5 o'clock or so,
Mhm.
once they get all the candidates processed and such. might be a little bit after 5 when the final tally is given, but we'll keep you posted. Keep it posted to Stephen Maxwell's Facebook page. But as he mentioned, coming up at 7:30, we'll be talking with the district attorney, Philip Terrell, who has qualified for re-election. In the meantime, we got a call coming in on the BOM Bank Talk line. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Dog, I waited for 10 minutes. I thought y'all weren't going to quit talking.
Oh, well, that's what we do. We get paid to talk.
I understand. These poles on Expressway, are they block cameras or what? Do you know? Or I'm late.
Are the poles block cameras?
No, flock
No,
cameras.
flock cameras. Flock cameras.
Are they flock cameras? Do you know?
What's the definition of a flock camera?
They taking pictures of people's license plates and recording all that kind of stuff.
They're supposed to be traffic condition cameras.
Okay, so we don't know.
No, DOTD told us that they're not using it. Well, this is what they say. They're not using it to spy on anybody or read license plates. It's specifically made for traffic conditions. That's what they say.
Okay, what traffic conditions meaning what? You know?
So, for example, if you're traveling to Lafayette today and you're worried about the traffic, you can see if the wreck is cleared out at Turkey Creek or something. You can look at the camera and see if how the traffic is. Or during an ice storm or any storm, you could look and see if there's debris on the road or what the conditions are like. When I worked in Shreveport at the news station, in the mornings, we would use it during our show to say, here's the conditions at I-20 at Greenwood or something as you travel this morning.
Good job. Okay. All right. Getting back to the time that I had to wait. Did y'all know I was there, or did you just look at it?
Yeah, we saw you. We saw it blinking. We don't have a producer like most radio shows have where they can answer the phone and say, okay, they're in the midst of this conversation, and they'll get to you as soon as they're done with that. So
well, y'all were talking about calling a ball game. That was very important.
Yep,
you know,
it was. Yep,
you know, I understand. I understand it was. Okay, thank you much. Appreciate it.
All right. Always love having a happy customer.
Al, if you just be a little bit quicker at pushing that button, you wouldn't have any problems like that.
He wanted us to talk about the flock cameras. We were flocking around.
Oh, man. Well, hey, we'll be a little quicker on the draw there. I'm sorry.
We were talking about something very important.
So back to the ball game.
That's right.
No, and that's a big, it's a
Be
big
the first
talk.
caller at 318-442-8255, and you too can hang on for 10 minutes.
I mean, look, I would say that we're the most generous show with phone calls
100%,
in the history of
100%.
American
If you listen to
radio.
most talk shows, they'll give you about 10 seconds.
And you're probably not even going to get on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they'll cut you off. I always let people say what they got to say. So now we sound defensive. Now our feelings are hurt.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just putting it into perspective.
Yeah,
you know,
you are.
No other radio show in America would do this. I'm almost positive.
That's right. We love our callers.
And look, we raw dog it the whole time. We don't know what you're going to say, what you're going to do. You could call in and say you hate Al's way of answering the phone, and it just happens.
No.
Because we'd have a producer before, and they'd be like, okay,
I don't even take it personally.
we're not going to let you do that.
Besides, I love my people. Pull.
KSYL.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Job cuts are coming to Etsy. The online marketplace is laying off 12% of its workforce as part of a restructuring plan. That's about 220 employees, and most of the workers affected are concentrated in its product and engineering group. Shares took a tumble yesterday after Etsy's forecast failed to impress investors. Checking on the markets, all eyes are on the Middle East. A flare-up in geopolitical risks weighed on stocks yesterday. The Dow dropped 464 points, while the S&P 500 fell 0.2%. This morning, President Trump says negotiations over the Strait of Hormuz are going strong. Stock futures are seeing gains. And Under Armour is feeling the squeeze from the challenging consumer environment. The athletic brand cut its sales outlook, saying demand is slowing around the globe. Under Armour has been cutting back on products and discounts, but also dealing with added pressure from tariffs. and the end of its partnership with NBA star Stephen Curry. Shares are falling in the early trade. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Summer is here and fun is growing at Rapides Parish Library. Plant a seed, read. Our summer reading program has sprouted. Enjoy hands-on activities, exciting weekly entertainment, and track your reading to win cool prizes all summer. From kids to parents, everyone can dig in, grow their minds, and keep the summer slump from taking root at RPL. Visit rpl.org to see what's blooming near you and start growing today.
Well, good morning. Sunny skies are Friday. It's going to be warm as winds now have come around to the southeast. That humidity coming with from the Gulf. 94 for the afternoon high. That heat index about 105. Now tonight, clear skies. We're down to 74 for the overnight low. And the weekend, as of right now, looking really nice. Sunshine Saturday, mid-90s. Looks like more of the same on Sunday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BON Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BON Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
And we are back on a Friday. Alan Stephen with you. Thanks so much for listening to us. We always appreciate it and appreciate all our callers as well. And it is the last day of election qualifying for the November race. We've had a number of candidates who jumped in already. Yesterday, Nathan and Stephen ran down some of the lists for you. We'll update those in just a moment. But one of the races we'll certainly be watching is that for 9th Judicial District Attorney. And the incumbent is Philip Terrell. He so far is the only one that's qualified for that race. He joins us this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all today?
Doing very well.
Good.
Doing very well. So what's it like when you qualify and then you're just kind of waiting to see if anyone else jumps in the race?
Al, this will be my 6th election. And it's, as you said, it's just, we're just waiting to see whether or not the balloon goes up.
Have you ever gone uncontested?
Yes,
Okay.
I have. I ran for city judge the first time was contested, and then the last 2 terms were uncontested. And of course, 2 of my friends and I ran for the district attorney's seat when Mr. Downs retired.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then my last DA's election was contested.
Are you hearing any rumblings that anyone might get in the race with you, or are you feeling pretty good at this point?
Well, you never feel good, but we've not heard anything.
Gotcha.
You feel good at 4:31, as I recall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you said this will be your 6th time?
6th election, yes.
6th election.
3 for city court and 3 for DA. Yes, sir.
Got you. Yeah, I was going to ask you. I thought you were around 3 terms so far as DA, and that's a 4-year term, correct?
Oh, sir, it's a 6-year term.
Sorry, 6-year. Okay, all right, 6 or 7.
All the judges, currently, all of the judges, all the city marshals, all the district attorneys in the state are up for election today. City court judges, district court judges, and of course, as y'all know, when I went and qualified, I thought I was getting there early, and I was number 56.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and it was, and they were standing line all day long.
What are your thoughts on that? It looks like there's a bunch of interest for this election across the board.
Yeah, I think. Hopefully there'll be a good turnout. There is a lot of interest. You know, there's a lot of issues in the community that people are interested in, and I think it's going to be probably a lively election season.
Well, one of the things you're talking about at the North Rapides Business and Industry Alliance meeting is really just how busy you guys have been over the past couple of years. Tell us about that and how crime is looking across Rapides Parish.
The mayor sent me a graph which indicated that violent crime in Alexandria was down, and I think that that's probably correct. Speaking over time, our through, our prosecution has been very aggressive. The sheriff's office and the Alexandria Police Department, the Pineville Police Department are really on it. But you got to face the facts. What we do is reactive. The sheriff, nor the mayor, nor of any town, nor the DA, nor any other police agency can prevent crime. I mean, the best they can do, the best the police officers can do is police presence. In my opinion, their people have conflicting views about that. But I tell you this, I can tell you that if I'm going 60 miles an hour in a 45 mile an hour zone and I see a police officer, I slow down. And I think that that's a common reaction for people. And so I think that the more that we can help all the different police agencies staff themselves, properly, then I think that I personally think police presence is important. But you can't legislate morals and you can't legislate home life, and until the community and mamas and daddies step up and make their kids do right, because we've had a huge spike over the last, especially in my last term, we've seen a spike in juvenile violent crime, and that's frightening. But we're like all the police agency, my office, we're like the little Dutch boy. We'll keep our finger in the dike.
So when we hear these statistics about different crime numbers, we saw one where Alexandria ranks up pretty highly across the nation. What does that crime look like? And I'm not trying to discount it. Is it more of like domestic? Do you need to fear for yourself as you're going around? I feel like there's a difference in the statistics there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't put too much stock in those national statistics. I don't know. I can't see. I spent a bunch of time in Baton Rouge at the pardon board and the legislature in the summer. I feel way safer in Alexandria than I do in Baton Rouge. Maybe I'm incorrect, but that's how I feel. Yeah. And so I'm not certain. I'm not a statistician, and I'm terrible at math, but it's sort of my perception that you can manipulate those numbers, and I don't much stock in those. Yeah. We live in a safe parish. We have our problems. We're trying to solve them. Everybody working together. The Alexandria administration, the Pineville administration, the police jury, the sheriff's office, state police, everybody. I think Stephen, you were at the press conference yesterday, and I think you saw the cooperation between all the agencies and relative to what the tragedy that we had back on the 15th of July. And, that's how we'll always respond.
Sure. And, you unfortunately are dealing with some high profile cases, including that one and the Sheriff Hilton case. Tell us about those and what we can expect.
Well, if you remember when the U.S. Attorney Zachary Keller was talking yesterday, or at the press conference, he said, really, I can't get into specifics because, the people who have been arrested are presumed not guilty. And so the prosecutors have to be very cautious about what they say. But I can tell you this on Sheriff Hilton's case, the best prosecutor in the state of Louisiana, Lee Hall, is handling that case. And we intend to, taking into consideration the feelings of Sheriff Hilton's family and all the facts of the case, it is our intention to prosecute that case to the absolute fullest. In terms of the case of the United States Marshal, obviously the United States is taking the lead on that because a federal officer was murdered, allegedly, and the alleged, and we've been, the sheriff's office, state police, my office, we've been actively involved in the investigation, supporting them, and we will continue to do so. Also, we have a case at some point because there were Refuge Parish and Alexandria police officers and a state trooper, at least one state trooper present, and they were victims of an attempted assault as well. So, it's a complicated case, and I'm not trying to be evasive, but we do not want to do anything to jeopardize the case nor make a misstep.
All right. District Attorney Philip Terrell, our guest here on Talkback, and we need to take a break. Do we want to do another segment or?
Sure, we can keep him one more. Right. That's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Cenla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Summer in Louisiana doesn't take it easy, and neither should your home. If your air conditioner is struggling to keep up with the heat, the experts at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing are ready to help. And don't forget, summer storms can do more than knock out power. Heavy rain can expose hidden plumbing issues before they become costly repairs. Whether you need fast AC service or expert plumbing solutions, trust the team that's been keeping families comfortable for years. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back. And again, our guest is District Attorney Philip Terrell. He has qualified for the November election, yet to draw an opponent. We'll see if that happens today. If not, he will be reelected without opposition. And I'm sure you wouldn't mind that at all, as would be the case for any candidate.
Correct.
Yes, sir. So one issue that I had someone text me, wanted me to ask you about, is the issue of the homeless population, especially in Alexandria, is asking, is it legal for homeless people to panhandle at busy intersections?
Well, we all have been looking at the legal, here's the deal. People in America are, unless they commit a crime, are free to walk up and down the street. They're free to communicate as long as it's not vulgar, obscene, or threatening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so constitutionally, that's a thorny issue. Now, I will say this. The city of Alexandria has done a fantastic job with their signage and with working with the Coalition on Homeless People. You shouldn't give panhandlers money. You should give the money. If you want to donate to charity, what you should do is donate to one of those charities that helps homeless people, and they're here. Homelessness in Alexandria proper and the panhandling is an obvious problem that I know that the city is working on, and I appreciate their efforts. But I would say that you're not doing anybody any good by who's panhandling by giving them cash, because some of them buy drugs with them, some of them use the cash for other things. I bet you if you rode up and handed them a sack full of McDonald's cheeseburgers, they wouldn't be as happy as if you gave them a $10 bill.
I feel like this is just me in my experience around town is it feels pervasive that almost anywhere you go, you get hit up and you can see them coming. And this community is always so generous. We've seen it time and time and time again where if something happens, the community steps up to help. But it's getting to the point where, and I know personally of someone who was going to a local restaurant and an incident with a homeless person has her now fearing to kind of go anywhere. That shouldn't be. So what can be done or what should be done to try to mitigate some of that?
Well, first of all, and I know that I've spoken with Senator Jay Luno and Senator Mike Johnson and Gabe Furman, and this is on their radar as well. And so, to the extent that a person panhandling can constitutionally be controlled, it is our intention to try to get to that point. I don't think we're there right now. I don't think we have a legal structure that permits us to prevent somebody from asking you for a dollar.
Right.
Now, if they're threatening, if they're aggressive in any way, that's different. But that's still not, that doesn't solve the problem because they're still out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yes.
So we have to figure a way to get them off the street corner. So when you stop at Bolton and Jackson, somebody doesn't come beat on your hood.
If you are,
look,
go ahead.
Go ahead. And let me just tell you, I'm not immune to it. So I'm in my DA vehicle and I drive up to the corner of Jackson and Bolton, and a guy who's a panhandler comes up to me and starts being very aggressive. I turn on my blue lights, and he gives me an expletive and a he didn't care. Didn't bother him a bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a tremendous problem that we must address.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's hard to know really which direction to go into, it seems like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and I realize, people want to be sympathetic, and there are people out there that are doing things. We had Lizzie Felter on the show yesterday, and she mentioned that, they have the church that meets on Sunday that especially ministers to the homeless population, and I love that. That's awesome to see. Is there anything to what you hear that maybe a lot of these people are being brought to Alexandria from outside communities?
I have heard that. I don't know that for a fact, but I have heard that.
Yeah. I mean, I know that does happen around the country. When I visited San Francisco about 10 years ago now, that's what they were saying is so many of the people on the street have been bussed in from other cities. I mean, it's just a crazy thing. And so oftentimes it's drug related, which is really sad.
And in that vein, I want to compliment Sheriff Wood's raid team. We've been able to seize about almost $2 million cash. About 3 of the fentanyl arrests that they've made are some of the biggest in the country. I don't know if you remember the first one. It was like 20 pounds of fentanyl, which is, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they continue to do that. They've seized hundreds of cars, some houses that were clearly related to the drug traffic, more guns than you can count, more stolen guns, more illegal guns, because it's a crime in Louisiana for a felon to have a firearm, and it's a crime in Louisiana for a person to have a firearm and be in possession of controlled dangerous substances. So, they're doing a great job. The Alexandria Police, State Police, everybody's doing what they can with the drug stuff, and we work real hard at that. But it's like I said, it's as long as there is a desire for it, there's going to be somebody who'll supply it.
Yeah.
What are some of the main things you want to focus on if you are reelected? Some major things.
Yeah. Well, the major things that I'm real proud of my staff and my ADAs. We've, Stephen, I know that don't want to go through and list all of them, but within this last year, we've had several convictions on violent crimes, and one of the things that I'm excited about is like a whole bunch of these really bad guys from the past are coming up for commutation of sentence at the Pardon and Parole Board. And I really enjoy going down there and fighting for the victims of very violent crimes. And we've been very successful with those. The Rita Rapalé case last week, this week, Adam Como, who raped and murdered a 75-year-old lady in her home many years ago. We were successful in keeping him in prison. That's what we like to focus on. And it's been my philosophy, and I think that this is true. Probably 75 to 80% of the people who get arrested and come through our system are not bad people. They've just made a mistake or they have some kind of problem that we can help them with. But that other, and we do that. And it's great to be in Walmart and somebody come up to me and say, hey, do you remember me? Well, no, you gave me a second chance. You sent me to rehab. I now am married and have 2 kids, and I work offshore, and I'm doing great. Mm-hmm. That feels that's better than anything else. Second best thing is when somebody hurts somebody and is dangerous to send them to prison for as long as we can.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Mr. Terrell. We appreciate it, and we'll be watching closely as you are to see how it all ends.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Our door's open. Let us know if we can help.
All right,
appreciate
it. That's District Attorney Philip Terrell, our guest here on Talkback, and we'll be right back.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
From America's #1 travel radio show, I'm Robert Carey with today's edition of your RM World Travel Minute. Today I want to discuss the many changes that are occurring with airfares. Now, there was a time that you'd buy a ticket in first or coach, right? Then the industry added business class and premium economy. To combat the low-fare airlines, larger U.S. carriers added basic economy. Now moves by Delta Airlines and most recently JetBlue, and the others will follow this, folks. I can assure you that. The airlines are trying to sell you on an experience rather than a ticket. My point, the no-frills Delta First or business class seating offers the exact same onboard seats and food, but they strip away advanced seat assignments, lounge access, change flexibility, and you'll get less mileage credits as well for a moderately lower price. JetBlue now makes you pick how you want to fly from their Mint, Blue First, Even More, and Main offerings. Then you have to choose the fare option you find best for your trip in what they call Flex, Standard, and Base. So it's a 2-step process. Do we need to overcomplicate buying an airline ticket like this? Shouldn't it just be a simple process? What's your opinion? Share your thoughts with me at rmworldtravel.com/contact.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All right, we're back on Talkback. Alan Stephen with you on this Friday morning, final day of election qualifying. Among those who qualified yesterday, current Alexandria Mayor Jacques Roy, who's running for re-election. Stephen had a chance to talk with him.
Appreciate the opportunity. First of all, just want to give a big shout out to everybody and let them know how important this election is going to be. And look, the main reason to run is very simple. We have to keep this momentum going. The city had to take some decisive action almost 4 years ago, and we were heading in the wrong direction. And I would just say we are marching down the field. We are over the 50. We're not in the red zone yet, but we are driving. And now's not the time to throw an interception. Where we are today is we have gotten our utilities back straight and running right. And we are making all the right moves to get this city's public safety under control. Our cops are paid at the highest level. They're the highest benefited. They're the most resourced, and they'll let you know that. And so we just need to keep this momentum moving. And the last thing we need to do is change that momentum. We've got developments right across from here that we just announced. We have developments that are going to come out next week that are pretty big. These are job-creating developments, non-controversial job-creating developments. This is work the city's doing with our partners, and we just can't wait to keep doing more. And we're just excited about this opportunity. It's about momentum, and it's not about figuring out how to let someone learn on the job just because they say they want to change versus knowing what to do, being proven, being ready, and being about togetherness and uniting this city. So that's why I'm running.
All right, Mayor Jacques Roy. Going with the football metaphor, Stephen Maxwell.
Well, he actually qualified day one.
Oh, okay.
So we just caught up with him. But yeah, he's this will be his 5th term if he was elected, I believe. Yeah.
Not consecutive.
Nope. So there was a 4-year gap.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor Jeff Hall was that gap, and right now it's him, Malcolm Larvadain, and Lorenzo Davis Sr. Malcolm Larvadain, of course, is a councilman for quite some time now. Lorenzo Davis is a local businessman, so we'll We also talked to Mr. Larvadane, too, on day one. We have that sound as well. Still trying to reach out to Mr. Davis. Those are the names that we heard for the past couple of months or weeks.
Right.
So that was not unexpected, but we're waiting to see if anybody else throws their hat in the ring.
Yeah, because if you go back to 4 years ago, I want to say there were like 5 or 6 candidates total, weren't there? Well, you weren't here then. But
No, it was a good amount.
yeah. By the way, you mentioned Malcolm Larvadane, and in fairness, here's his
Mayor,
audio.
and I think 16 years is enough for the current incumbent. We're doing some things right, but we need to do some things differently. And I want to put some new eyes on some old problems.
What are some of the main problems you want to focus on?
Neighborhood revitalization. I feel if your house isn't right, your life isn't right. The city for way too long has neglected affordable housing. I'm going to make that a priority. I also feel affordable housing can deal with crime, which we know is a problem in Alexandria.
So kind of give us your background for people who don't know.
Okay, I'm Malcolm Larvadane. I'm currently city councilman for District 1. I'm also a practicing attorney. I've practiced law nearly 30 years with my late father and my brother, who was Edward Larvadane III, and a state rep for District 26. I handle various types of civil and criminal law. So I represent people for a living.
All right. So Malcolm Larvadane, also, as you mentioned, qualified. So 3 candidates in the race. By the way, Mayor Roy's interview with you, nice jacket. It looks like he's going into the NFL Hall of Fame.
No, that's a good one.
That kind of a beige jacket, right?
I need to up my jacket game. I don't have enough. Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
Once you're off TV, you don't really need them.
Well, I've kind of been on a dress nice strike. That's because I've had to do it so much now. So jeans and polos are my fit lately.
You haven't been wearing shorts, though, this summer. I'm
not a big short guy anymore.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. I just don't want to overwhelm people with my beautiful legs. Or blind them.
Or blind them.
But
that kind of happens on the live stream, though.
It's just, so for me, jeans aren't, formal or anything, but if I'm going to an outdoor shoot, jeans is okay. I'll look all right. If I go to a business meeting, I don't look completely out of place. So it's the good everything.
Versus shorts, you would.
Like if I go to a news, and I'm not judging anyone who does, it doesn't matter. But if I was to wear like shorts or I got called to a news conference or something, it just kind of feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
That's it. That's my thought process. During the winter, I'll usually try and dress nicer because it's more fun to dress nice.
Yeah. Kind of the business casual.
Business casual. Like
right?
Today, I wore, what do you call these pants? They're not jeans, but they're, what the heck are those called? See, I'm not a very fashionable guy.
I can't see your pants.
Chinos, maybe?
Wearing chinos?
Yeah, I don't know. Polo chinos.
I've kind of gone more like the golf pants look. I kind of like that.
They say they're comfortable.
Yeah,
it's
they
just
are.
I'm anti-golf.
Yeah.
I'm anti-golf. Because everyone my age is doing it.
I guess so. They're playing golf or just dressing? Like
Both.
Both. Okay. Yeah. All right. Steven's always going to go against the grain. That's why we love him.
I'm more of I'm going to do more like pickleball kind of guy.
Pickleball look. All right. We got more coming up in hour 2 and more happy callers.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 8 o'clock.
Jobs lost, not gained. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. We just got that hiring update, a worse than expected jobs report for July.
Negative 23,000. Unemployment rate drops in July to 4.1% from 4.2% in June.
Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti, that lost jobs last month unexpected. A gain of 80,000 jobs was predicted, and there have been revisions down for May and June. 103,000 fewer jobs created than first reported. But on Wall Street, stock futures rise with less concern concern about a future Federal Reserve interest rate hike. The Senate may vote today on Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination, and the second Republican plans to vote no. Lisa Murkowski joins Susan Collins opposing making Blanche full-time AG.
Murkowski said in a statement that she is concerned that the Trump administration could go forward with its proposed fund to compensate January 6th rioters, even though Blanche has said he will shelve the idea. She also said she has issues with the handling of the release of the Epstein files and what she called, quote, sweeping immunity protections granted to President Trump, his family, and their businesses, among other things.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. If one more Republican senator sides with Democrats, Blanche would not be confirmed. Another congressman has lost a primary, the ninth one in the House this year. Andy Ogles, a Republican in Tennessee who had President Trump's endorsement, defeated by GOP challenger Charlie Hatcher, who was backed by Governor Bill Lee. Now, Lee can't run again. Senator Marsha Blackburn won the Republican primary to replace him.
We are a solid red conservative state, and all of these socialist, communist policies end at the Tennessee state line.
Blackburn faces Democrat Jerry Green in November. 5 teachers and staffers are dead at a school near Bangkok, Thailand. A 14-year-old student went on a shooting spree, wounding more than 20 others. He also killed his grandparents before going to school. The boy's also dead. He killed himself as well. America's listening to Fox News.
Larry Elder here. When it comes to supplements, 2 things matter most. Does it work? And can you trust it? Rather than just tell you about Relief Factor, we'll let our customers do it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I've got back issues. I've been taking Relief Factor every single morning for years. Without it, the back problems come back. They make it easy to find if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor gave you your life back. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com, that's ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF. You'll connect with our friendly local team, and they'll do everything they can to help. We hope you'll be soon sharing your story with us, too. ReliefFactor.com, 800-4RELIEF.
We are still waiting on another deal with Iran, and while President Trump insists they have to agree to denuclearize, getting shipping flowing again, ending attacks on oil tankers and other vessels, also a big issue.
Iranian officials say they are close to a deal with Oman to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. They could expect an announcement anytime. President Trump insists he is personally involved in those negotiations. The president said an agreement could be announced as early as today.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. There is a different agreement in the Middle East.
This defense agreement brings together the second largest military in NATO, the wealthiest country in the Middle East, and a nuclear-armed power from Asia. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan say they want to strengthen collective deterrence against any act of aggression. Similar to NATO's Article 5, an attack on any one of the 3 will be considered an attack on all. The deal will likely lead to joint military exercises, technology transfers, and intelligence sharing. It was signed at a meeting of the 3 countries' leaders in the Saudi holy city of Mecca. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
3 wildfires keep charring the Spokane, Washington area. They've burned more than 900 homes and other structures, some reduced to just ashes and ruins. One of the fires was set, and the accused arsonist admitted it.
But did not enter a plea as his attorney asked for a mental competency exam. Aaron Farinacci appears to have an obsession with fire. He also admitted to detectives he started what's now known as the Old Trails Fire. Investigators say Farinacci told them he started some 25 fires in and around his neighborhood since last year, some of which forced evacuations, burned dozens of acres, and damaged at least 1 home.
That's Fox's Sarah Allegre in Spokane. Back to our top story. That worse than expected unemployment report for July. 23,000 jobs lost, hiring revised lower for May and June, but on Wall Street, stock futures are rising out of the opening bell, up almost 200 points for the Dow. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. The 6th District was redrawn specifically so a Republican could get elected, but that hasn't stopped a couple of Democrats from running. Andrew Greenstein reports.
Rubia Garcia was originally going to run in the 5th district, but after the closed party primaries were canceled and the districts were redrawn, she's now running in the 6th.
Whether you're a Democrat or Republican or a no party, all of us are collectively suffering.
Garcia is joined on the ballot by Pat Forbes, who is an aide to former Governor John Bell Edwards. He says the people of District 6 face serious issues every day that have neither an R or a D next to them.
I hope that folks are going to look less at party and more at the candidate they think can get to work for them.
I'm Andrew Greenstein.
Colorado State and NOAA have now both revised their hurricane forecasts for this year. It's down slightly from 8 to 14 named storms to 7 to 13. Forecaster Matthew Rosencrans.
We've seen a lot of conditions trending towards the things that would give us a less of a hurricane activity this year.
LRN. A 69-year-old New Orleans man who spent 42 years in prison for a murder a judge later said he did not commit is seeking $480,000 in state compensation. But Attorney General Liz Murrill says Elvis Brooks is not eligible because he pleaded guilty to manslaughter in connection with the 1977 fatal shooting. Reporter Richard Webster.
Attorney General Liz Murrill is saying that the plea deal should have remained in effect. The court should have never vacated it. So she hasn't even gotten to the merits as to why he's innocent or not. She's just saying that he pled guilty. That should hold.
Big weekend ahead for the legendary Drew Brees, who will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame tomorrow. The Super Bowl MVP says there are so many people to thank along his 20-year career.
What an incredible story. Maybe what an unlikely story. And yet every step of the way, it was just filled with these moments that shaped me and molded me and just gave me so much gratitude.
Louisiana Radio Network.
What you want? Party all night long at Paragon Casino Resort with Aretha and Lionel. A tribute show live on Saturday, August 29th at 8 p.m. with a little R-E-S-P-E-C-T. You'll be dancing on the ceiling to all the hits. Tickets just $20 at ParagonCasinoResort.com. Aretha and Lionel, a tribute show. Saturday, August 29th at Paragon Casino Resort in Marksville. This is how we play.
Well, good morning. Sunny skies on our Friday. It's going to be warm as winds now have come around to the southeast. That humidity coming with it from the Gulf. 94 for the afternoon high. That heat index about 105. Now tonight, clear skies. Looking down to 74 for the overnight low. And the weekend, as of right now, looking really nice. Sunshine Saturday, mid-90s. Looks like more of the same on Sunday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson. It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
School is getting a big upgrade. School officials and local elected officials came together on Thursday to break ground on the new Career and Technical Education building. The facility will give students hands-on training and the chance to earn industry-based credentials in fields ranging from welding to carpentry, preparing them to step directly into the workforce after graduation.
One of those really exciting days where we see the impact of strong conversations, community engagement. We talk about engaging, empowering, and elevating here in the Rapid Spirit Public School System, and this is what it's about.
This is a great example and will be a great example why those vocational technical school funding is so important, because we've been doing a good job in the past out here at Buckeye with preparing students, but the environment's changing. There's more need for people with actual training in certain skills.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 of Talkback on your Friday. I'm Al Quartermont. He's Stephen Maxwell, and that was Stephen's report that is on his Facebook page about the new Career and Technical Education building over at Buckeye High School. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. They're trying to meet our workforce, I guess, where it's at and provide the workers so that hopefully they'll stay here and live here and work here, and we'll continue to grow here in Central Louisiana.
Yeah. I mean, right now there is, and I think it's wise, a push on more skills-based career development. Obviously, that's been a focus of CLTCC in recent years, and it is something that's going to be needed to meet the market factors. You hear people like Mike Rowe all the time talking about how much money people in the skilled trades are making because there is a lack of demand in that sector. People like welders, electricians, how much money they're making in states like Texas, for example. And a lot of the big tech companies are pilfering those workers from each other. So their salaries just keep going up and up and up and up. You know, it's an interesting contrast because we're really seeing the blue collar worker becoming kind of the focus of the education push, whereas for probably the last 40 years or more, it's been more of a white collar push. And it's just interesting when you look at the way political factors are going right now, that the higher educated somebody tends to be right now, we're seeing them drift much more toward kind of the leftist ideas that are being proposed. For example, the race that they just had in Michigan this week for the Senate primary for the Democrats, the candidate, is it El Sayed or whatever, the Muslim guy? They were saying that the two counties he dominated in are the counties where the University of Michigan and Michigan State University are located. In the other counties, which tend to be less educated, he didn't do well at all. When I say less educated, I mean collegiately.
That's kind of been the way it's been going, you know, for quite some time. You know how they say they go off to college and they kind of change their mind for a while, and they get older and they change their mind again, right? So, yeah, no surprise there. And look, when AI starts taking over jobs, it's going to be the white-collar jobs that go first. And we're already seeing some of that already.
Well, yeah, and one thing that we're also seeing is that a lot of the kind of dissatisfied that are being drawn to the socialist ideas and platforms are people that have gone to college but tend to be in degree programs that really don't yield a lot of jobs. So the 150 grand worth of debt that you incurred while getting a degree in, you know, feminist studies, and now all of a sudden you can't really find a job, that's not all that shocking. But that's kind of what you're seeing is leading to a lot of dissatisfaction. According to, and I've seen CNN and others, clips of them covering this and looking at the demographics of all of that. It's very interesting for sure.
Well, I think Mondami probably picked up more than college-age, white-collar young people. But, yeah, that's that. If you were to look at that specific demographic, I'm sure they lean that way.
Yeah. Yeah. What I was saying about El Sayed, he won 0 of the 15 counties with the lowest share of college degrees. Now, unfortunately, people that tend to kind of sometimes be from the college educated sector almost look down on people that don't have college degrees. My experience has been blue collar people have a lot of great common sense. And I've always kind of considered myself more blue collar because that's the atmosphere I was raised in, and always took that approach to whatever job that I've been in, even if you want to consider that more blue collar. It's interesting. C.S. Lewis had a great quote about this. He said, "Why, you fool, it's the educated readers who can be gulled. All our difficulty comes with the others. When did you meet a workman who believes the papers? He takes it for granted that they're all propaganda and skips the leading articles. He buys his paper for the football results and the little paragraphs about girls falling out of windows and corpses found in Mayfair Flats. He is our problem. We have to recondition him. But the educated public, the people who read the highbrow weeklies, they don't need a reconditioning. They're all right already. They'll believe anything." That's pretty astute observation.
And I genuinely, honestly believe that, you know, TikTok and some of these social media platforms, they are putting out a lot of propaganda. And they're pushing a lot of information to get you stuck in this silo of a certain thought. And sometimes that comes into like, okay, socialism isn't that bad. Communism isn't that bad. America is bad. I've seen my algorithm change like that too. just because I clicked on a video.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on TikTok and it tells me how great China is half the time.
Wow.
And little things like that can make a huge difference in an election or a thought process.
There was a clip that I'll play in one of my classes, and it was from a couple of years ago. And it was actually, I can't remember, it was one of the CBS shows, but it was about TikTok at the point where China owned it. And they talked about in the piece the different versions of TikTok, the ones that young people get in America, which is largely more entertainment oriented, versus in China, it is more educational and promoting the patriotism of their country, I guess. So when they talk about a survey of what's the number one career goal for Americans in that age group, influencer. What's the number one career goal for that age group in China? Astronaut. Let that play out over 20 years and, see where we're going to get. But, with that, costs right now are such a big topic. And, President Trump did come in saying, we're going to do everything we can to lower costs and we're going to get this done. And we've seen some progress in some areas, but certainly the recent spike in gas prices because of the war in Iran. But so much of this still goes back to what's happened over the last 5 or 6 years because of the trillions of dollars that were spent on COVID. All of the illegal immigrants that have been put into this country has put amazing pressure on things like housing, food supply, and things like that. So, it's not going to be an easy fix. And unfortunately, what people are being drawn to is absolutely not going to be the fix. And I don't know if you saw Mondami, and this week was talking about his government-run grocery stores. You need to have an ID to get into them. Think about that. You need to have your ID to go into government-run grocery stores. By the people who tell us you can't have IDs for voting because that's going to be a barrier for people.
This is racist, they say.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing with the tricky part for Trump, I guess, if there is he said he was going to fix it immediately. He goes, it was an easy problem to fix, and it's not.
Right. It's not. Yeah. I think he's made great progress. I think there have been a lot of positives that have come out of his 2 years in office so far, but it's not happening at the speed that people would like.
Or the speed he said.
Yeah, or the speed he said. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But what's the alternative? Do you want to go back to what we had for the Biden years?
That's what they'll do. Yeah. If it doesn't work, you're going to do something else.
It's breathtaking. Yeah. All right. 318-442-8255. Let's go to the phones again this morning on the BOM Bank Talk Line. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I thought you were going to wait till after the break. You hit the nail on the head. Dr. Dennis Prager says it's the reason that the leftists are coming out of these big universities. Says it takes a long time to make a person that stupid. It's an endeavor that they go after. But it's funny, but it's true. In the latter part of the 19th century, when our colleges were trying to, actually a little before that, when our colleges wanted to be able to PhD our own people here, every university up until Johns Hopkins was started as a Christian endeavor, and they all have great plaques with these statements of educating the people of America so that they can, for the glory of God, and the promotion of the gospel. Well, when they wanted to PhD our people here, they had to go to just the rules with higher education. They went to Germany, Oxford, and England, but especially Germany, and the influence of Arianism was already in the German higher education system, and so the people that came back here brought it with them, and it coincided with the rise of evolution and the arrogance that brought to the elites, and we were ripe for it. And so, leftism was impregnated. Now World War II stunted its growth because, they saw how ugly, the progressives were all about the Nazis. They thought it was excellent until, and the fascists, until they realized how many people that were being killed, and the communists. They loved those leftist ideals because it was controlled by the few over the many. And so that fit into their mindset because they felt like they were the elites. But what they did is they reconfigured it after World War II to make it sound like those were right-leaning ideologies. And they're not. They're left-leaning. They're total government. But so it's going to take a giant shift. The average man, I liked your quote. C.S. Lewis, Winston Churchill had quotes like that as well. And it's going to take the common sense of the average people to outlast these guys. And they'll have to just lose faith completely because they don't give their students what they need, which is an advantage in life. Anyways, I know I went past the break. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you for the call. Yeah, and we do need to take a break. We got some more calls. If you can hang on, we'll be right back in a minute.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Cenla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's Restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, we are back here on Talkback. Alan Stephen with you at 318-442-8255. Let's go to another call. Good morning. Thank you for calling in. You're on Talkback.
Hey, you started without me.
Well, you shouldn't have left. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hi, good morning. You know, people that don't like these cameras,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of amusing because they're all walking around with cell phones.
Mm. True.
And these phones are tracking you all the time, and the cameras. You know, the cameras. I like the cameras. They're a great crime fighting tool, which I'm anti-crime. And people have watches, and if you have a vehicle made in the last 20 years, it's tracking you too.
That's true.
Your vehicle is tracking you. It has the tracker in it. It has a data. Your vehicle has a data center in it, and it's tracking you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know what's funny is ChatGPT sent me a message last night, and it was like, hey, we have this new health plugin. Would you like to connect all of your health status, including your history, your current heart rate, everything into ChatGPT so that we can further assist you? And it was like, it wasn't just a few things. It was like an exhaustive list of my history. I said no, but it's interesting.
Well, you know, I want to tell you something. You know, these data centers, your vehicle has a data center. I was watching the CEO of Uber. He's being interviewed by somebody, I don't know who it was, but he was being interviewed. He said that within 10, 15 years, there's not going to be no more Uber drivers.
Yeah.
Your vehicles be fully autonomous, and the only time they'll ever see the vehicle is when it needs cleaning or maintenance.
And whenever we see these, protests about the data centers, and people have valid concerns, but I think you're missing the forest for the trees. If you are concerned about AI, it's not the water and the power. It's is it going to make humans
expendable?
Yeah, I was trying to find a nice word for it. So
thanks, man. Appreciate the call.
And look, going back to the previous conversation we had, I think I think it's rooted in this. One of the most dangerous mindsets you can get in is a constant victim mindset.
Yes.
Personally, when it comes to your government and when it comes to your own life. If you're stuck in that mindset all the time, sometimes it could be very destructive. It is very destructive. And then you throw out the baby with the bathwater. It's all said in how America did all these wrongs, and we focus on the wrongs. And America has done wrong before. Every country has. Yeah. Everybody has.
Yeah.
But they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yep.
And start over, or go to something that's never worked, or hope they can put their own spin on it and do that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't.
And you can say it till you're blue in the face, but there are people that are just so conditioned now and have their minds made up. Anything you say just is not going to make a dent, which is really sad.
Well,
really
sometimes you can be like a little trickle, and slowly it erodes away, and you can put it in there without
Maybe.
being so abrasive and saying, "Hey, you need to suck it up, Buttercup, and pick yourself up by the bootstrap." It just doesn't work. You got to slowly integrate these things and show them the right path. It's tough.
See, I think we need more of the John Wayne approach to teaching a kid how to swim.
See, that worked with me. Like, that's what you would do with me.
Yeah.
Whenever I was younger,
That's
you'd be
true.
like, "Hey, dude, just suck it up and do it."
I
can
that.
handle it.
Yeah.
That's how I like to do things too.
Yeah.
But some people just aren't like that. People are different.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Like, if I told my daughter that she's a girl, you know, when she gets older, I don't think it's going to work very well. Like, you know, get over it, honey. You just got to suck it up.
Suck it up, so-so.
Maybe she would, actually. I don't know.
Yeah.
And look, we're talking about.
Sometimes I feel like my approach to life just doesn't fit in anymore. You know.
It does. I mean, you have your people, right?
That's true.
You know, and I think you're seeing a lot of that type of parenting come back in my generation.
Mm-hmm.
You see some who do like the gentle parenting, and we can have a discussion about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I don't think it works. You know, I don't think the whole gentle parenting thing works. You shouldn't be a jerk or anything.
Yeah.
But I think a more authoritative approach is better.
I have noticed that people that subscribe to that, when I've been around it, they use a lot more emotional manipulation.
Yeah. Yes. Or like you're trying to get down to their level.
Yeah.
And then they're going to rule you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be inconvenienced.
Right.
You know, it's tough. You know, parenting's tough, but don't make it harder on yourself, I guess.
Okay, let's go back to the calls. Good morning. You're on Talkback. Hello. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure of the format. Do I need my name? Or how does this work?
Say whatever you want, except cussing.
Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Okay. I happened to catch you this morning, and I appreciate your opportunity. My name is James Butler, and I am just calling to say that I think it's unfortunate that we're lumping all Republicans as Trump beaters and all Democrats as revolutionaries. I think we have extremes in both parties, and I would just disagree with the statement that one of you made earlier. I happened to catch that we've made tremendous progress in the last 2 years. From my perspective, I think we've gone backwards.
Really?
And regrettably, I think we're going to continue on that path for 2 more. However, the good news is that we've been down bad paths and good paths before, and we survived. And we're going to get past this one way or the other, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I appreciate the opportunity just to vent. I'm not ranting. I guess I'm venting.
Sure.
I'm an old guy, and I often find that old guys aren't listened to, so I'll just throw it out there, and y'all can do with it what you will. But I appreciate the opportunity.
I'm curious why you feel that way, how you feel that way. What do you mean by you feel like we've gone backwards over 2 years?
Well, let's see. I'll start with the environment. I'll start with the Department of Education. I'll start with inflation.
So, like their desire
with,
to eliminate the Department of Education?
I think the Department of Education has been good for the country.
Really?
I think
You do know that since they started the Department of Education, America has gone from near the top of education in the world to like 40th. I could find the exact statistic.
Yes, sir, I do know. And whether I'm going to lay fault to the Department of Education, I don't know.
Call because it's not the normal type call we tend to get, and your voice is important. Where would you say you get the majority of your news information from? I'm just curious.
That's a good question. Let's see. I read the New York Times. I read the Washington Post. I read the Chicago Tribune. I sometimes read the Advocate. I occasionally read the Dallas Morning News.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Times is too far out the other way for me. Apple News I look at it each morning, but ordinarily it's pretty much. Well, let's see, what's the right word? It is selective in what it covers, and its selections and mine could be different.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And that's the case with every news agency. Best candidate is.
Are you concerned with the rise of the Democratic Socialist movement in your party, in the Democrat Party?
I'm concerned with the perception that the rise of the socialist wave is carrying us toward a communism aspect. That does concern me. That we often have difficulty distinguishing between the two concepts. But am I concerned about it? That's a good question. I don't know that I've really weighed that.
Yeah,
certainly interested in it, and wondering where it's going to take us. Concerned? Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to have to ponder that. I'll have to get back to you on that. Should I be concerned?
Well, feel free to call in again.
I'm certainly interested, but concerned, I'm not quite sure yet.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks for your call, and feel free to call in anytime. And if you disagree with us, we love that. Because at least we can have a conversation about it.
Yes, sir. That's a good thing about our system.
Yeah.
And we tend to forget that.
Yes, sir.
By God, we can disagree all day and still have a Coke later.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate yours too. We need to take a break. We'll be right back.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk Line at 442-8255.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Some green on the screen in the early going on Wall Street today after the latest jobs report showed the economy losing jobs instead of gaining, giving some investors the impression the Fed could be a little more tempted to cut interest rates, or at least not to raise them. Watch for a new weird-looking device from OpenAI next year. Sources say its first consumer device looks like a donut and will probably set you back about $300. And $10 cashback deals are this summer's hottest free money hack. Digital wallet company Pays, backed by big banks, offering $10 statement credits each time you spend $10 or more at retailers like Dunkin', Domino's, StubHub, United Airlines, and Sephora. The promotion ends September 10. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Summer in Louisiana doesn't take it easy, and neither should your home. If your air conditioner is struggling to keep up with the heat, the experts at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing are ready to help. And don't forget, summer storms can do more than knock out power. Heavy rain can expose hidden plumbing issues before they become costly repairs. Whether you need fast AC service or expert plumbing solutions, trust the team that's been keeping families comfortable for years. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial, all with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, fences that feel like home.
Well, good morning. Sunny skies on our Friday. It's going to be warm as winds now have come around to the southeast. That humidity coming with it from the Gulf. 94 for the afternoon high. That heat index about 105. Now tonight, clear skies. Looking down to 74 for the overnight low. And the weekend, as of right now, looking really nice. Sunshine Saturday, mid-90s. Looks like more of the same on Sunday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Now back to Talk Back 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back. Saw notes on Facebook this morning. If you see, this is from the Pineville Police Department, if you see an increased police presence at Pineville Junior High this morning, don't be alarmed. There's no emergency or threat. It's a planned event, and they appreciate everyone's understanding and cooperation. So important to know.
You know, I made a whole post about this during the show, and I forgot to mention it on the air. So I'm sorry.
Thanks, Stephen.
You're welcome. They don't pay me for nothing. At least I didn't take forever to answer the phone call now.
That's going to linger on my mind the rest of the day, right?
Well, he's going to think about it in his sleep.
Now look at that. An hour ago, Stephen posted to his Facebook. If you see an increased police presence at Pineville Junior High today, don't worry. PPD says it's a planned event.
You can see where my priorities are.
All right, back to the phone.
And look, we know that, I'm aware that not everyone who is a Democrat voter is a Democrat socialist. But it gets talked about a lot because it's the burgeoning sect of the Democrat Party right now. And they are getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah. If you're a traditional Democrat, to me, this is something you should be very concerned about. But let's go to the next call. Good morning. You're on Talkback. Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. I hope your family's doing well.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to take a little different perspective on this so-called socialist, especially this guy, Elsa.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that concerns me the most is all the anti-Semitic approach.
Yes.
This guy, Hassan Pike,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of hatred. They're voting for the Taliban.
You're kind of breaking up on us.
I'm sorry. People need to realize they're voting for the Taliban of concepts.
Yes.
The people are backward in some of their thinking. So it's a very dangerous concept. It's not the socialism that's concerning. It's the anti-Semitic, anti-American.
Mm-hmm.
We have built this country 250 years. It's and currently it's one of the best nations around. And this anti-American want to take everything and tear it down. And Stephen, you're correct. We have made mistakes. The main mistake that I see is how we treated the indigenous peoples. We treated the American Indian with death and suppression. But these people that are so anti-American, anti-Semitic are very dangerous. That's how they need to be viewed. The socialism is already being taught in colleges. Most young people, when they first come out of college, are extremely liberal. But after they start receiving their first paychecks and see how much the government is taking, kind of wakes up some of the conservative side.
Well, two things there. I think there's a vast majority of conservatives who are on this anti-Israel wing. You could probably attest to that, Al. There's a good amount that are against Israel. And I think, we talk about universities a lot, them being the problem. And of course, some universities are very, very liberal. But I think a lot of the issue now is just social media. You get stuck in this algorithm, and it's influencing a lot of people who don't even have to go to college.
Well, exactly. But you would agree with me that look at the Smithsonian currently. The lady that's over that said she's using the history as a tool to work on social awareness. I'm a very conservative person, and I'm ex-military also, but I'm mostly concerned, Stephen, with the anti-Semitism. It's prevalent.
It is.
But you got to consider the Abraham Accords are in place. Not all Muslims hate the Israelis.
That's right.
But, Steve, I'm going to end with a joke that I think even you can understand. So This lady had a cat, and the cat's tail fell off. So she took the cat to Walmart because she heard that Walmart was a large retailer.
Nice.
Have a pleasant day, gentlemen.
All right, thanks for that. Large retailer. Okay.
I'll have to use that one.
One thing I want to address, though, the rise of anti-Semitism is not just happening on the left.
Yeah.
A lot of young, I would say, conservative, Republican-leaning males also view now as Israel is America's biggest issue, that we're too controlled by Israel. We send too much money to Israel, that President Trump's controlled by Israel. Most of the Republicans are controlled by Israel. And I hear a lot of jokes they make about Jews and such. And it's because they don't have the background of understanding how serious that is. You know, even they're saying things like, well, if you really listen to what Hitler said, you know, or why are his speeches not in English?
Yeah, the big comment now on these types of videos is the guy with the mustache was right. And you'll see that quite frequently.
Yeah.
And look, and they're going to point to things like Israel and the Jews there. They kind of hate Christians and they hate us, and they're using us at this point. That's kind of the talking point.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're really big fans of Christianity. We know that.
Right.
I don't think we're big fans of Judaism either, right? But yeah, that's just a number of different things you're seeing more and more of that would probably be more fringe back in the day. And it's people like Nick Fuentes that are pushing this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more mainstream, and people keep platforming him.
Yep.
Stop platforming these idiots.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously a
Tucker
troll.
Carlson's going in that direction too.
He's just not as brash as.
Yeah.
He has concerns. Like, I think for Tucker, and I think he had a conversation with Mike Huckabee the other day, who is the ambassador to Israel. And they were saying that, look, I'm not against Israel. I love Israel. I just think we send them too much money, and we're struggling in America. That's Tucker's whole MO.
Yeah.
But then Mike Huckabee would say, yeah, we're sending them this money for their military, but they're buying American-made military supplies, so that money's coming back.
And they're our number one ally in the Middle East.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the only kind of democracy in the Middle East. Everything else is an Islamic republic.
And you can agree, and you could say that, but still have concerns of
the
humanitarian crisis that is happening in some places because of this.
Right,
and it's difficult. It's never easy. War is never an easy thing, at least morally.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to take a break. We'll take more calls.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk Line at 442-8255.
What's everybody talking about? Find out from Sinlaw Updates with Sinlaw Broadcasting. Fast, focused news from me, Stephen Maxwell, powered by Sinlaw Broadcasting. Follow Sinlaw Broadcasting on Facebook. It's your Sinlaw Update. Local news that hits first and hits different.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Now back to TalkBack 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
I come from a communist country of Vietnam. So we lost the home country of South Vietnam to communism. You don't want this country to become a communist country. Any communist country that don't give people freedom is not acceptable. You know, it's what you don't want. I mean, you don't want communists, even socialists.
All right. That was actually a Trump supporter speaking yesterday. ahead of his stop in Nevada. And he's from Vietnam, says you don't want it. And I'm seeing lots of videos on X from people that have come from other countries that are all saying the same thing. They're very concerned about what they're seeing because they've seen this before or they've escaped from it. And now they're seeing it being embraced and popularized here. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and it's difficult. I mean, my wife came from a communist country.
Yeah.
And so she knows good and well, and she's concerned too. But I think a lot of your American, what is the one below me? Gen Zers?
Yeah.
They're looking for more of like a Nordic approach, which sees itself, those countries are actually moving more free enterprise.
Yep.
Because the government model doesn't work.
Nope.
And actually, I think, Sweden went completely socialist in the 80s and didn't work, so they had to revamp it, make it more privatized. So it's just not as always easy as saying socialist, communism, capitalism. It's very difficult.
Yep. All right, let's go back to the phones. We got more calls coming in. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Well, good morning. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday to you, sir.
I've heard it's the beginning, anyway. The word I want to talk about is institutionalized.
Institutionalized. Do you think we should be institutionalized? That's what you're saying?
No, I think people in the parties have become institutionalized. We got institutions,
Yeah.
Everything's institutionalized. Mr. Butler brought up the Department of Education, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that to whatever the department is. The war on drugs, the American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society. Everything starts out with a goal in mind, and then they become institutionalized. The institution of that becomes it don't. In other words, it doesn't. It's not about improving whatever you're doing anymore. It's about keeping that institution or that organization flowing, getting larger. So the purpose of the institution falls by the wayside. So it becomes a method of basically it's a propaganda. I mean, the Democrat Party probably started out, it started out with goodwill. The Congress started out. Think about it, Congress and the Senate and all government, all institutions start out, on the right path. But look at what we've got. We've got people in Congress that are institutionalized. We've got people in the Senate that are institutionalized. They're all about the institution of keeping themselves in there, keeping the party larger. Everybody else, the people are falling by the wayside. It's not about us anymore. It's about keeping them in power. It's about making the party bigger. It's about growing government and it's larger. And I mean, anything that goes against that, you're competing against. I mean, they think of it as you're coming against them. You're coming against the party. So basically, freedom of speech is being freedom of thought. It's the big one. Freedom of religion. All of these things, are threats. And I mean, and every one of them see it as a threat. You look at the drug makers or whatever, big pharma. They became institutionalized. It's not about taking care of people. It's not about curing cancer anymore. It's about getting people on the drugs. It's not about curing diabetes anymore, reversing it in people. It's about giving them a drug that you can keep them on forever, one generation to the next. The American Heart Society, I was looking at a thing this morning, they hadn't come up with anything new in the past 30 years. They're still hung up on this cholesterol stuff, and it's proven that, that's a big lie, but we got cholesterol medicine involved. You got statins and all that, but you can't shut that down because there's big money involved in that. That's given back. And the thing in Iran, I mean, that's where World War III starts. This and I heard people talking yesterday. The word is coming out of Iran, coming into Jordan, coming into all the neighboring countries or whatever. The word flowing out of Iran with the, they're still looking for they're wanting to bring back their 12th Imam. Their 12th Imam, the one that they say is going to be their savior, their Messiah, the one that supposedly fell into that well however many thousand years ago. They want to bring him out. So for them to do that, that it's got to be world, chaos. So whatever they can do to create a chaos, if it be getting a nuclear bomb and doing something destructive, I mean, that's their main goal, is to usher in their imam over there, So anyway, I mean, there's no way to negotiate with these people, unless I don't know what the answer is to that. That's all in God's hands, So all we can do is pray for our leaders, and make sure they do the will of God on that.
Yes, sir.
If we can't do that, well, I mean, that's our, we're the ones that's fault. We become institutionalized in our own country if we can't say, hey, it's the will of God. God's in control of this,
Mm-hmm.
And, other than that, there's really nothing else we can do.
Yeah. All right.
And one more thing.
Yep.
I don't know what we've done to the governor around here, but I've noticed the state troopers are really hitting people hard out there on the roads. I mean, you see more people pulled over than ever. And I remember back in the Bell administration, whenever he didn't like the way something was being handled in the Rapides Parish, I mean, they cracked down on people around here, if you remember correctly,
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with all that, but I don't like it.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Y'all have a great weekend.
Okay, you too. We're going to need to take a quick break.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Cenla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Remember when eating corn right off the cob was one of your favorite summertime treats? Or how about taking a big bite out of a crisp, fresh apple? If it's been a while since you enjoyed these delightful activities, chances are your teeth are no longer up for the task. But now there's great news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville are Cenla's dental implant experts. They're both highly trained and experienced in the procedure. Now with thousands of completely satisfied, delighted patients. They make dental implant surgery simple by using today's most current technologies. Along with in-office IV sedation administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist, you'll be in and out before you know it, without all the anxiety. Plus, at Today's Dental, their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Go back to crunching all your favorite foods. Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 448-4540.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talkback.
All right. We're trying to get a couple more calls on here. Thanks for waiting. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. I really enjoy the show. Wanted to give a shout out to Dave Grayson. Does a fabulous job keeping y'all straight each and every day, and keeping everything working down at the radio station. But I wanted to also point out something positive. We're having the blood drive tomorrow. They're in desperate need of blood for LifeShare. So at JCPenney's tomorrow from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Thank you again for all y'all do for the community, and really enjoy the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hope that goes really well. Another call. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
On a lighter note and a dumb joke, right?
Yes.
You know what they call a prostitute cow?
A prostitute cow?
Got any ideas?
Oh, no.
Hormuz. Got it?
Did you think of that one on your own?
Well, sure. And you know what? If she's not a lesbian, she's straight. Catch you later. Bye.
What?
You remember that producer thing we were talking about?
Producer thing?
That's like I said, it's the Wild West out here. Man.
Yeah. Yes.
It's the Wild West. Wild West of radio.
We don't have a lot of time to go into this, but I don't know if you've been seeing at all. The media company Scripps is apparently laying off a bunch of TV news types around the country.
Yeah.
And that they're it sounds like the model that they want to go to is using their reporters to do more stuff on social media rather than the traditional news broadcasts.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
Kind of like what you've been doing for the last year.
I saw the writing on the wall for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And people think it's always going to stay the same way. And I was trying to find my exit. Because I knew it was going to happen.
But I still feel like these big media companies are going to try it and not be successful because they still don't understand what it is that leads to engagement.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you. Yeah. It's a tough place to be. You're trying to deal with the old that makes you money still and then move into the new that's going to be the future. And how do you go about it? How do you change some ways? And it's difficult. It's hard. I knew that was going to happen. Scripps has kind of been leading the way with firing people, though.
That's true. Yeah. But we are in a time of great change in the world of media.
And I'm sure it's going to change again.
Yeah. Yep. So, but as long as we have breath in us, we'll be doing talkback.
I mean, we're not going to need to work in like 10 years, they say. We won't be able to work.
I just don't think that's going to happen, but I could be wrong.
Oh, who knows?
It's not good for man to be idle.
Didn't say it was good, but I feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Anyway, we'll keep punching that clock in the meantime and hope that you do as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Stephen and I will be back with you on Monday. Looking forward to it. We'll talk to you then.